For the past few years, every PSVR2 player has been wanting new games, and sometimes when they arrive they fall flat. But they've always been optimistic about one title, and that is Aces of Thunder, a game that could be compared to the second coming for VR. Well, thankfully I've had some early access with this game, and I'm here to tell you what I think of it, but this is from the perspective of someone who didn't follow the hype, someone who actually wasn't too excited about the game, and sure, it looked cool, but flying games had never been my thing. Now, I usually review games as opposed to giving first impressions, but due to timing constraints and when access was given, I haven't spent enough time to understand every single thing the game has to offer. However, I have played enough to say what I think of the gameplay, visuals, overall feeling, and I think these are the most important thing when talking about Aces of Thunder. Now, before we dive in, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd like to take a minute to remind you to do so. It supports the channel a lot, and seeing as you're already here, it'd be great if you watch this video to the end, as again, that helps massively. And if you'd be so kind to leave a like and a comment, that's also great. Now, let's talk about Aces of Thunder. First off, I want to touch on the graphics, because from all the trailers, hype and overall expectation, everyone is hoping for a high fidelity game with top tier visuals, and for the most part they're getting that. The game is visually stunning. The cockpit looks class with every indicator working, and it's somewhat overwhelming at first, but the absolute clarity everything holds in that cockpit is quite impressive. Flying above buildings and various terrains is gorgeous, and sometimes I wish no one was shooting at me so I could just fly around and take it all in. Now, while you're thinking right now this is all a breath of fresh air, I'd say you're right, but there are some caveats to the great visuals. The draw distance can be a bit meh. When playing against others and you're flying to the zone, you'll start to see the enemy appear. These originally show as like little black dots, resemblance of like a dead pixel. This will slowly get bigger and then eventually reveal a plane. Now, I'm sure there are better ways they could have done this, but in VR it's so noticeable. There is also some sort of shimmering, but for the most part you won't notice this. And lastly, if you really want to nitpick, if you crash or land your plane near a building, you'll see they're not as detailed as one would expect. That said, with a game like this, you could add no detailing and I wouldn't really care, as most of the game keeps you in the sky. Lastly, the menu section. When loading into the game, you're not greeted with a black screen and some things to select. Instead, you're outside in a runway type area where you can see your plane, move around with teleport movement, and just appreciate the visuals. Again, if you look at the trees, you'll see a slight shimmer, but it's not the worst thing. For me, I think the graphics are phenomenal, but what isn't phenomenal is the haptics. I was expecting some vibration or adaptive triggers when using the plane's controls, but sadly this wasn't the case. I also think some form of head haptics for when your plane gets shot, or even if you get shot, but more importantly when someone crashes into you and you're spiraling down, it could be even better if there were some haptics. But importantly, let's talk about how the game felt. Now, I was really interested in multiplayer. I'm a firm believer that experiences with friends can really amp up a game, so I joined up with fellow PSVR2 content creator, Jammy Hero. I'm sure you've all heard of him. We hopped into a couple of game modes in a custom lobby to see what the game would be like in a 1v1 scenario, and when I say this game has given me some of the best moments I've ever had in VR, I was shocked. Flying around doing barrel rolls and invasive movers, all to dodge the absolute barrage of bullets coming towards me, was both intense and mind-blowing. There was this one moment Jammy was shooting at me, and the next thing he's run out of ammo, so instead of retreating he decided it would be best to hit the throttle and smash straight into my wing.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! I think I just... Dude, that was fucking terrifying!
This sent my plane in a downward spiral, and honestly I can't stop thinking about that moment. It was epic. Even though I was about to lose, I got to experience an absolutely incredibly intense moment, and I didn't even know this would happen. Most of our custom sessions were a bit confusing though, as they start and by the time we took off, the match would end, leaving us both very confused. So we just stuck on domination 1v1 and promised to stay away from the objective and just have a 1v1 battle. This was great. I can't wait to experience this game in a full multiplayer session. But if you're not a multiplayer person, this game does have a lot of solo content, and for the most part, this gave me the exact same feeling as the multiplayer sessions. Now, I haven't played too many of them, but the ones I did play were great and I was having a blast. All of these moments I've mentioned that happen in multiplayer can also happen in solo. You can crash into another plane, you can mess up and plummet into the ground, and hell, you can even flip your plane when trying to take off. But all of these moments, every single one was awesome. I'd consider myself to be somewhat terrible at this game, but even then, I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Oh, there you are.
Oh fuck! Oh my god, your wings off! Holy shit! I'm gonna crash into you! Holy fuck! Oh my god!
Oh my god, that is tripping as hell.
That was terrifying. Are you still crashing? Oh my god, I'm stalling. Wait,
still
I did
going
crash
down.
into you! I did crash into you! My front propeller's broken, I'm crashing! Wait, I see you in the distance! I
I'm
see
still
you!
going down, I'm
Oh
still
my god,
going
that's so cool!
Something I want to mention is this game's accessibility. Not everyone will be good at handling the plane with motion controls, and even when I tried, I did some gnarly stuff that often led to my demise. Thankfully though, they do offer analog movement, so you can play that way until you feel brave enough to try motion controls. Personally, I enjoyed playing both ways, but I could definitely handle the evasive maneuvers and turns with the analog more than motion. So before I wrap this up, I wanted to mention something I rarely mention, and that is motion sickness. Now, I've not got motion sickness since the first few months of starting VR. It's something that doesn't hit me now, and it didn't hit me with this game either, but I'm sure it will for some. Doing barrel rolls, getting your wing destroyed, sends you into a 360 spiral to your death, and even just some simple flying could be enough to make some people feel queasy. So all I wanted to say was, make sure you're not someone who experiences motion sickness, and if you are, and you can't stay away, definitely do some test flights and just get used to it. For me, my first impressions of Aces of Thunder are glowing. Honestly, going into this game being less interested than the rest of the PSVR2 community, I thought I'd be saying it wasn't for me, but it's the complete opposite. This game is what VR is about. Experiencing something you didn't think would be for you, only to be blown away. I know everyone was disappointed with the delays for this game, but believe me, it's all been worth it. This is one of those games you just need to play, as it gives you those only in VR moments that you'll scream about for weeks to your peers, but they will never understand as they think we're stupid for whacking a VR headset on every night. Aces of Thunder has released very early in the year, but it's definitely up there for Game of the Year contender. So, with that in mind, if you've been interested in this game in any way, shape or form, go pick it up. Just play it. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed my first impressions for this title. If you enjoy VR, then this is definitely the place for you to be. I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy and have a wonderful day.